So you guys know what a big fan I am of history and trying to make history. So now that we're 15-1, the 15 straight wins has only happened 12 times in the SEC. Kentucky's done it 6 times, and now Auburn's done it 3 times. So, I'm very proud of our guys for starting the season so well, beating the opponents on our schedule that we were supposed to beat, which isn't always easy to do. And now, as we get into the meat and potatoes of our SEC schedule, we've got to be able to step up and play at a higher level. We've got to shoot it at a higher level, execute, at a higher level, continue to defend and rebound, and try to get better as we get through this grind. Prior to beating Florida twice last year, we had lost 21 out of 22. We've lost 12 straight down in Gainesville. Haven't beaten them since 1996 down there. And they were Florida. Their net team in the mid 40s right now. They were a preseason top 10. They've got real good personnel. We've got several McDonald's All-Americans and great depth. They played a really tough non-conference schedule and had some tough losses. But right now they're playing well, and they got good inside, outside, really good size. Be a great matchup between Blackshear and Austin Wiley. Two of the better big men in the country, certainly two of the best big men in the league. Blackshear was preseason player of the year, and Austin was second team. So that'll be a great matchup. They're a tough prep in the sense that they do a lot of things, and so for us, we've got a short week this week. Florida played at home Tuesday. We played the late game on Wednesday at Alabama. Didn't get back till 2:30 in the morning, so it'll be a quick turnaround, and we head out this afternoon. We have enough time to get prepared, but they've obviously have had some extra time.
Anything in particular that you're really pointing to with your team that you want to improve on the most right now?
I think we've got our offensive efficiency numbers have not been as good since we entered league play, playing against better teams. It's funny. I think my assistant coaches, or maybe to the casual eye, we've missed some shots we should make. But that's just not the way I look at it. I look at it like I've got to do a better job getting us better shots. And so it's a combination of one of those two things.
What's the team's response been after Wednesday?
Been good. The guys were disappointed. We continued to compete during the course of that game, but it was just a struggle all game long. I mean, nothing came easy, and so it was it wasn't a lot of fun because we weren't able to put much together. We had a little run in each half, but it just didn't last very long. But I just let the guys continue to grind and yesterday, we didn't watch much film of Alabama, hardly at all. We had such a short turnaround that we had to focus pretty quickly on Florida. It was not a physical day at all. Today, before we get on a plane, we'll hit and try to guard Florida live. So today's practice will be important.
How's Samir's Achilles?
He's okay. I really worried about it at halftime. I mean, he limped pretty heavily off the court. And then he was in the training room the whole time I was talking to the team. He could hear me, but he was still in the training room. And I think it affected him some. But I was expecting him to be really sore coming back today, and he wasn't. He's been in it for lots of treatment, and it's not a problem, not a factor.
just the way he played, do you think is he the type of player that can bounce back from, his performance against Alabama?
I hope so. I mean, we ask him to do a lot. I mean, he's one of our best. He and Isaac are our two best defensive guards, and they both take great pride in their ability to guard. They expend a lot of energy defensively, and then we count on them to score and make plays off the bounce. We count on them to shoot the ball, and then we count on them to play backup point guard and get us into where we're supposed to be. That's a lot of responsibility. I'd say probably nobody has more on his plate as far as, giving everything we ask him to do than Samir.
Obviously, Blackshear's a guy that's talking them hard and then kind of the prophecy.
Yeah. Well, Blackshear is a guy that, demands a lot of attention. He takes and makes more free throws than anybody else in the conference. He's an 84% free throw shooter. And so you got to guard him without fouling him. And then Nembhard is he's one of the biggest, most physical point guards in our league. And I'm sure that he gets you on your hip, and he's a physical presence. Jared did well on him last year, and that was a key to our being able to beat them. I'm sure he's going to try to put Javon in his back pocket and keep him there.
Can you talk a little bit about Austin Wiley and his free throw shooting and how it's just continuing to improve?
Yeah, you don't want to jinx him too much, but I can just tell you he's worked at it, and he changed his shot around. I think I've talked about it before, but this summer something had to change, and practice makes permanent. It does not make perfect, and so during the course of this past summer, I was able to get Austin to do two things. One, to be willing to actually change it. And the second thing was to get the ball into the shot position first and hold it there, as opposed to all the different mechanisms that he was using to get the ball into the shot position, including lifting the ball, putting it behind his head. There was just lots of movement and lots of room for error. Problem is, Austin's always worked hard at every aspect of his game, including his free throw. So he practiced it for years in a way that was just not efficient. At that point, I'm out, and I turned it over to Ryan Langford, my graduate assistant, and Ryan was able to get Austin from being in a ready position with no movement to then be able to lift the ball and shoot it properly and touch it up, and then spent hours, spent it, I'd say hours every week. I don't want to say he spent hours every day, but he spent a lot of time on it. And now he's, up at 70 and kind of expects it to go in. I think the other thing that's really good is that when you're not a good free throw shooter, you don't want to get fouled. He wants to get fouled now, which is important for a big. That's like Blackshear. Blackshear wants you to foul him so he can go to the line.